Hello again, Module 4.2. This time it's revenue models in the sales funnel. I think you're starting to get the gist of this. We're starting to kind of put things together as well, and we're almost done with the course. You're almost there. Just a couple more modules, and you'll be all done and on your path to your six-figure venture. So last time we learned what types of buyers there are, how to communicate with them, the 5 to 7 interaction rule. I want you to think about this and don't ever forget about it. Remember, don't try and sell immediately. The 5 to 7 interaction rule is so key to you and the longevity of your business and how to master sales. So now we'll talk about building your revenue model and sales funnel. Woo! So what is a revenue model? You're going to figure out what you're going to sell and the method in which you're going to sell it. Price it, and then work backwards to figure out how you'll get people in a purchasing position. Notice how there I didn't talk about what tool I'm going to use to make the transaction happen. We don't worry about that right now. We don't worry about, well, am I going to sell it here? Am I going to sell it there? You're only focused on actually making that sale. Figure out what you're going to sell and the method in which you're going to sell it, price it, and then work backwards to figure out how you'll get people in a purchasing position. We also are not focusing a lot on price. Why? Because your price is going to change a lot, and it's something that could stress you out way too much. Pick a number that you think is valuable, that is in the ballpark of other competitors, and go with that. Do not focus too much on the price. It's one of those excuses. Well, I don't know what to price that, so instead I'm just not going to make the sale. That's not what you want to do. So a great example here is app development. Maybe you're looking to create an app. So typically these are hourly or project based. You want to find the people with the pain point that you can solve. Hey, I need an app to be developed. Present your solution and create value for them. It's super simple. And then you say, hey, I'm going to do this at $150 an hour, and it's going to take 10 hours. So 150 hours times 10 hours is, drumroll please, $1,500. That's likely the price that it's going to be. You don't need to focus on it too much. The sales funnel, and we'll have this this piece for you to download as well in the tech piece below. But it's the sales funnel. So we've talked about a lot of these things, but we're starting to put them together. So you have your first piece. That's the broad piece of free content. That's the very top. Think about a funnel. For those of you out there that are in college or went through college, maybe the only funnel you've ever seen is a beer bong. That's still the funnel that we're talking about. Very broad at the top, and then it triangles down to thin on the bottom, and that is who is going to be your customer. But you got to funnel them down. If you see here, that's a lot of transactions. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But what have we been talking about? The 5 to 7 interaction rule. Each interaction should be bringing them one step further down the funnel. Free content, right? So the blog posts, the webinars, the meetups, that's all free content. Then we then try and start triggering them down into the funnel. Number 2, a call to action. Can we get something from them in return for something? Can we get them to come to our event? Can we get them to sign up for a newsletter? That's getting that barrier down. Then you're going to create more content for them. If it's from an email, and maybe you're going to create a course for them to go through, or maybe a series of informative information that you can send to them every Monday at 10 a.m. via email. Or maybe it's a recap of the event that you just had with some specific information about the topics that you talked about. We'll talk about all this specifically in the playbook as well in module number 5. Each piece to it is extremely important. What kind of information can you have templated out that basically you just follow every single time that you send it? So, hey, thanks for coming to my event. It was great. We talked about this, XYZ. and if you want to sign up for my newsletter, please sign up for it. That's it. And then they sign up, and then you dive down and give them more content throughout time. Start with giving out free content in exchange for some piece of data, typically an email. We talk about this a lot, and follow up with more content and a call to action. So we have the sales funnel here, free content, call to action, send them more content. A barrier to entry, more contact, hard sale. Case study. So we're going to share a couple of different examples with Hatch. Our end goal is a paid membership into one of our programs called 1004. It's a couple $100. So how do we bring them back to it? I'm going to give you the example right now. 1004 is our ultimate goal. Remember, you want to know what the ultimate goal is in your funnel. What's the ultimate goal? And then move back. So the broad piece, we've talked about all this content. It could be the coffee meetup that we did. It could be a blog post. It could be the calendar. It could be an event, a free event, one of those four. Then those people that go to those events or go use that content, we then put them on a list that we then provide to them follow-up information and other additional events. Then they can come to one of our more exclusive events called Startup Night, where it's a smaller crowd, but they that person who attends that is more likely to come and start becoming a part of our members because it's more niche. It's not as broad. It's a specific topic for past, present, and future entrepreneurs around topics around startups. So we're focusing in on that. And so at broad, you might have the lawyers and the accountants and the service providers and the investors and all those people, but then we start funneling them down to a specific meetup that's just for entrepreneurs and it's exclusive to them. And so we're starting to funnel that person into our conversations. Then we can take that startup night and say, here's something that we have. We have this event, and it's a paid event now, getting an even stronger barrier to entry, and we think it's right for you. It's a build a company in a weekend competition called Start Norfolk. And so you see where we're going here? Broad, everybody. Now bringing it down, entrepreneur focus. Now paid event, get them to. And then after that paid event, we say, hey, it was great to have you. You learned X, Y, and Z. You've gone through all these things, all these meetups, we've given you all this information. Now we want you to be a part of our exclusive membership program called 1004. So you see how much reinforcement you already have here? Most people aren't going to just sign up for 1004. I don't think we've ever had someone just sign up for 1004 off the street. We've had to bring them through a series of interactions, some paid, some not, to get them to pay a more premium price for it. Does that make sense? Broad content, exclusive content, paid membership, our final goal. That is how we've done it. 5 to 7 interaction rule. Another example, there's a local bicycle courier company, your traditional New York City courier company. You need something to be delivered, they go and deliver it for you. You need something picked up and then delivered, they do it for you. So there's a call to action at every single step of their sales funnel process. So how do they get their branding out there? Well, they've done several different things. They've done blog posts, they've done social media posts, they've gone out and bought popsicles for people on hot days. But not just the popsicle, they had a small little leave behind that said Carry Norfolk on it, just with the branding so that people who may need something delivered could go and get that at a later time. Then they took the handouts and they wanted people to do one specific thing. If it was to sign up for their Facebook, they wrote sign up for our Facebook. That is their trigger. They're trying to get people to sign up for their social. If it was sign up for my email list, it was sign up for our newsletter to get the best deals in town. And with that popsicle, there was a call to action on there for them to get some sort of data from them once they got back to their computers or on their cell phones right then and there. Then, if they were signing up for that social or that email, they were able to then give them additional information at a later time so that they could do ultimately what you want them to do, which is what? buy things so that Carrie Norfolk can deliver it. They also produced a series of videos that talked about what their company does. Now, it's very unique because it's not cars, it's bicycles. And so bicycles delivering, there's some education around that. And then what they saw is that when they emailed, just like we've seen several times with Hatch, that when we email compared to social, because it's hitting that person's inbox, they're far more likely to make a transaction and buy the goods that you want them to buy. In their case, it's buying a series of food, beer, or wine, or some business-specific things, documents, or like post-it notes or something like that, and then deliver them to an office. But when they get that email, they're far more likely to make that transaction than when you just post it on social media. So leverage social media to get them to sign up for the email. And a course, maybe you're trying to put together a course, for example. So provide free pieces of content for those individuals, establish the authority while you're giving them those pieces. Maybe it's 3 pieces of information, educational information over a series of 3 days, and then hard sell them on that last day through that funnel and sell them on getting the full content through the course. So you give them free content, you get you add the barrier to entry, the additional content, you get their email, you send them a course, and then on that last day of the course you say, hey, do you want to get the rest of this premium content? Well, if you do, you'll need to pay for it, and that's the last piece of the sales funnel. So to recap, we talked about the revenue model. So you need to decide what you're going to sell and decide that, the pricing of that, but don't focus on the pricing. Don't be scared. It's going to change. If you think it's a $25 product, sell it at $25. If you can make $30 on it later, then you'll worry about that later. If you can think if you need to reduce it to 20, then you reduce it to 20 later. Pick a number and go with it. And the sales funnels that directly relate to the revenue model. So if your model is for a course, then you need to focus on the sales funnel for just the course. How can you get people to come through to do that? So if your ultimate goal is to get people to sign up for a premium membership, you need to take them through the steps and go backwards and broaden it up, reverse triangle it, and say, okay, I want them to sign up for my premium membership. I need to take them through these other steps. And what you'll see is that one way the numbers go down and the other way the numbers go up. So if your goal is 100 people to sign up for a course or your premium content, what you'll need to do is at the level 5, so let's say that's level 6. At level 5, you'll need to have 250 people. And then at level 4, you'll need to have 500 people. And then at 3, you'll have a higher number. And at 1, you need 10,000. Those are just random numbers, but you see how it flows down. 10,000 to get to 100, right? So whatever that broad piece is, to then funnel it down to that solid piece that is your sale, you need to get it to the broad people down to the local level so that you can sell it and you have that authority status, the 5 to 7 interactions. So that's it. That was module number 4. Give yourself another pat on the back. You guys are doing amazing work. We got 1 module left, putting it all together so that you are on your path to your 6-figure venture. Module 5, putting it all together, is up next. Module 4 is done for now. We'll see you soon.